Just keep hitting the best.
We talked a lot about indecency earlier, and Mark Twain's quote about how it's a concept that only occurs to man. But I'd love to hear what Twain would have to say about Manhunt. I mean, is this not inherently, on its own, independent of reaction to it, indecent?
Stone cold, baby, stone cold.
And that's precisely what Manhunt is all about. This may be a stealth game, but its gameplay isn't the focus. In fact, its gameplay mechanics aren't even that good. Manhunt is about dehumanizing humanity and confronting you with the results. You see, what makes the game so disturbing isn't its violence per se. Plenty of games depict violence. It's the way it strips us of our social constructs, the things that make a human a person. Man is just meat in Manhunt. He is nameless, he is soulless, he is flesh. This game functions on a very primal level, and it's every bit as disturbing as it intends to be. But there's an important question to be asked here. Does all the violence have a larger purpose, or is it really just gratuitous? Is there a statement being made here, or is the game depicting cultural taboos simply for the sake of the controversy? Now, I don't want to devalue any conclusions you might reach, but to me, Manhunt epitomizes hollow game design. It's a statement about nothing, a journey without a goal, a game too concerned with being disturbing to be artistically significant. Or, for that matter, anything above average. And to make that point, presentation is the other aspect I'd point to. The game is, beyond argument, all about those cinematic kill scenes. And even if a person would, for some reason, find them entertaining, it doesn't change the fact that they become as tiresome as they are gruesome. And unfortunately, the gameplay between those scenes just isn't strong enough to dilute the tedium they soon precipitate. I mean, grainy graphics filters and a snuff-like aesthetic only go so far. You need a good gameplay mechanic to make them worthwhile, and although Manhunt is most certainly decent, it never goes beyond that. The levels are repetitive, if not utterly barren, a fitting description for the game itself, in fact. Manhunt is very much an average stealth game with a very controversial coat of paint. Of course, controversy is one thing Manhunt did do well. Within months of its 2003 release, the game was banned in New Zealand, Australia, and Germany, and even in places where the game wasn't banned, it was still met with outrage. And to be honest with you, I kinda see the point of the offended. Freedom has never been an all-inclusive deal, not in any form or application. Freedom has always come packaged with fine print that reads, "with reasonable exception." So is this reasonable exception? Well, perhaps if it were art, it might be. Art makes a statement, and if Manhunt were using its imagery for any kind of larger purpose or commentary, I might think differently. And although the game wants you to think it does, perhaps the most telling proof of the contrary comes from a former Rockstar employee, whose confliction over Manhunt prompted him to say the following in 2007. With Grand Theft Auto, we had the excuse that the gameplay was untethered. You never had to hurt anybody that wasn't a bad guy in one of the missions. You could play completely ethically if you wanted. With Manhunt, though, we knew there was no way we could explain away that game. There was no way to rationalize it. A big thanks to Dean from California for sending us this game and frankly giving me one of the hardest reviews I've had to write in a long time. Violence without rationale is gratuitous. Imagery without purpose is Manhunt. A game that, in the eloquent words of that same Rockstar employee, made us all feel icky.